I just ask you, do you want to be healed? So Yeshua replied, rise, roll up your bed and walk. Immediately the man was made whole. He was made whole because he couldn't rise up and roll up his bed and walk until he was made whole. So immediately the man was healed. And he rolled up his bed, which is a bamboo mat. It's just, it weighs like what a grapefruit would weigh, nothing. But this is what he would lay on. You don't want to lay on the cold stone there. You get death of pneumonia while you're waiting for the angel to stir the water there. So it says that he rolled up his bed and walked, and it was on the Sabbath day. Yeshua told him to do this. So the Pharisee leaders chastised the man who was cured. It's a Sabbath. It's not lawful for you to carry your bed. Now, this bed was absolutely nothing. It weighed, as I say, less than a grapefruit. And there's absolutely no biblical prohibition concerning the carrying of such a mat on the Sabbath day. When Yeshua commanded the lame man to pick up his bamboo mat and walk, he was commanding this man to violate rabbinic law. And that way he's demonstrating that no man is authorized to add to or to subtract from the commandments in the Torah. This is Deuteronomy 4:2 and Deuteronomy 12:32. No one adds, no one subtracts. Yeshua heals the man and then tells him to roll up this bedroll and walk with it. Tuck it under your arm and walk with it in front of thousands and thousands of Pharisees. For over 300 years, the Pharisees had been developing the religious system that consisted of thousands of additional rules and regulations to which their followers have to subscribe. The Pharisees claimed that they were authorized by Moses to make takanot, which are, by their definition, laws which change biblical law. Hundreds of these rules govern what one is permitted and not permitted to do on the Sabbath day. Over 500 rules, an entire volume of the Talmud is dedicated to Shabbat. Now, one of these rules is the distance one is allowed to walk on the Sabbath day, which is legally defined by the Pharisees as a Sabbath day's journey. According to Pharisee law, no one is permitted to carry anything outside of his home on the Sabbath day. And even then, he must not travel more than a Sabbath day's journey. But the Pharisees figured out rules that you could take some of your household possessions, and this is what they did. They say you can't carry anything outside of your house on the Sabbath day. But they made a rule that you could take some of your household possessions and place them one or more Sabbath day's journey away from your dwelling the day before the Sabbath day. Then, on the Sabbath day, you could carry anything you desired to the place where you placed the last articles. It could be 4 Sabbath days journey away. That was your Eruv, which is your house. This is a border. And so a Pharisee could extend his house almost indefinitely by simply making preparations a day earlier by placing the Eruv. And this is in the Talmud Shabbat 6a, 8b. Now, I have an Eruv that goes, it's right across the street from my house in Israel. It goes all the way up around Perea Hospital, all the way down Alamot Junction, and then on up the other side. But if someone living on the other side of the Eruv wanted to carry a Bible to my house on the Sabbath day, if they were an Orthodox Pharisee, they couldn't do it. Why? Because it was outside of the Eruv. So, the Pharisees chastised the man who was lame the previous day for carrying the same burden that they could carry with absolute impunity. But because of his infirmity, he was unable to go through the proper rabbinic protocols that would have allowed him to carry anything. He couldn't go out and walk out and put all these things out. So he can't carry anything on the Sabbath day. So, now you understand what is going on here. Yeshua is telling this man to rise up and walk in the truth of the Torah and be delivered from religion. This is the first miracle that he does that is exemplary of this very thing, and he does it at Shavuot. This is going to set off an incredible firestorm.